I, 25-year-old male, live with my parents in a very expensive city. We stay in a 3-bedroom high-rise. My mom recently decided she wanted to move to this city because she was tired of living in the country. I agreed to move with them because this city had many software engineering jobs. I was able to get a high-paying job and make 6 figures. My mom and dad are school teachers, and their combined income is just under what I make. My brother James and his wife Mary had originally stayed in our old state, but once she found out she was pregnant, my mom and dad invited them to move in our house. I work from home sometimes and pay 75% of the bills and mortgage, so the spare bedroom was my office. My brother and his wife showed up at my house, which I didn't know about, and demanded my room. My room has a walk-in closet and bathroom. I told them to take the office because it has an air mattress for guests. My parents told me to let them have my room. I reminded them how I pay most of the bills and I'll move out if they take my room. My mom yelled at me and told me I was a jerk, but my dad just told them to go to the spare room. I went into the office the next day but forgot my laptop, so during lunch I came home and found my sister-in-law taking my stuff out of my room. Everyone else had left for work. I yelled at her and asked what the hell she was doing. She screamed back that my mom said to do this. I grabbed all her stuff that she moved, which wasn't a lot, and threw it on the floor and told her I will kick her and my brother out if her stuff is in my room when I get back from work. My brother and mom blew up my phone when I was at work. My dad started a group chat and said that there will be a family meeting when everyone gets home. I stopped at the store to grab a knob with a lock for my door. My parents, sister-in-law, and brother were sitting on the couch when I got home. My brother tried to get in my face, but I'm taller and bigger than he is, so I just put my hand on his face and shoved him out of my way. I knew this infuriated him because he's older than me. My dad told me that I should just let them have the room. My sister-in-law smiled at me. I told them that I pay most of the bills, and they are living under my roof because my name is on the mortgage, and if they want the bigger room, they could either pay me rent or the 4 of them can move out. My dad tried to bargain with me, but I told him that I'm not talking about this anymore, and if I hear about it again, I will have everyone evicted. My sister-in-law started crying and I went to my room. My dad is treating me okay, but everyone else is giving me the silent treatment. I thought everything was okay, but the next night I came home from dinner. My mom made everyone but me a plate. She said until I give up my room and be a good son, she would not cook me dinner. My dad agreed with her. I pay for every grocery. I went into my room and printed eviction notices for my mom and dad. My brother and sister-in-law hadn't been there long enough to be considered squatters. I told my brother and sister-in-law they had an hour to pack and get out or I'll call the police. I told my parents they have 30 days or I'll take legal action. All our extended family stay in a different state, and they don't have the money to support 4 people in this city. My mom begged and tried giving me her plate, but I said it wasn't about the food. My parents put my brother and sister-in-law in a hotel room for the night, and my mom tried to apologize, but I ignored her and went to my room. I'm writing this right now to see what I should do because I'm honestly confused. Update. I went to work and my parents had left before me, which was unusual. But my mom had texted me throughout the day with apologies. I saw a post that said my mom might be narcissistic, but this is the first time she's acted like this. So I was honestly hurt when it happened. But when I came home from work, my brother, sister-in-law, and parents were sitting on the couch. My dad said they're sorry for the way they acted and thought, because I'm usually the voice of reason, that I was going to back down. My brother said the request seemed small, and because I have a perfect life, giving up one thing to accommodate him in his time of need is what family does. Side note, my brother has no debt. My father is a veteran, so we were able to get free education somehow. But because my brother changed his major 5 times, he had to pay for 3 years of extra coursework that wasn't covered. My parents took on that burden and are still in debt because of it. They also didn't sell or rent out the old house because my brother convinced them that he would like to start a family there someday. So they have some debt because of it. But my brother is not in need of everything. My brother also told me that because it's our parents' condo, they should have a final say. I explained to him that it's my condo and my name is on the mortgage, so they actually get no say in what goes on around here. He was confused. He said I possibly couldn't afford this place on my salary. He said a person making $50,000 a year could not live this lifestyle. I explained to him that I make 3 times that much, and our parents can't afford to live here without me because of the mortgage back home and his student debt. James said that Dad took care of the student loans and that the old house was already paid off. I looked at my parents, wondering why they lied to him. I explained that they're in a ton of debt because of him and refused to sell the house because of what he said. James asked our parents why they didn't tell him all of this. My mom burst out into tears, telling James they knew he was jealous of me since I was in high school. Mom knew that me playing varsity football my freshman year of high school when he rode the bench as a senior is what started his dislike. And me playing college level at a Big Ten school didn't help. We also graduated the same year. So James told Mom that it wasn't fair that I got to do all those things. Mom and Dad began babying him in order to compensate for this, so he wouldn't hate me, and the family could continue to be around each other without animosity. James just walked out the door without speaking another word. My sister-in-law apologized and said she didn't know it was my house. I asked her why would that change anything. She ignored my question and went to the guest room. My dad tried to explain that they felt like they failed my brother. I asked, was it just because of the football thing? He said it was because James wasn't given the same opportunities as me. I explained how James skipped school to drink and smoke and joined a gang. I asked, do you think we should have gotten the same opportunities? My dad said it was hard to explain. I told him what's easy to explain is the eviction notice and he has 30 days. So I left to my friend's house and that's where I'm at now. Update 2. My brother invited me out to have some drinks. I was hesitant to go at first, but I realized that it wouldn't hurt. When I saw him, he looked horrible, and I hated seeing him like that. The first thing he told me was sorry, and it seemed genuine. He then told me he was never jealous of me and was proud of all my accomplishments. He then dropped a huge bomb. During his senior year of high school, he had come home early and found Mom was home, and so was our uncle's car. At the front door, he heard moans and decided to peek through the window and saw our mom and uncle on the couch, cheating on both of their spouses. He took a video as evidence ready to show Dad. But he didn't want to break up our family. Instead of talking to anyone and getting help, he got into drugs to help him cope. But he explained that one day, Mom yelled at him while he was drunk in the middle of the day. So he just showed her the video. He explained how her face got pale and she broke down crying. She promised she had broken it off when our aunt had gotten pregnant a few months after the incident had occurred. She pleaded with him not to tell Dad. He said he wasn't, but that she better do everything to make it up to Dad. Mom started the jealous thing to hide her affair, even though she knew she was the reason for the drugs and alcohol. He hadn't realized that she's been overcompensating, afraid that he was going to tell Dad. After therapy and rehab, he had been concentrating on himself and failed to see how I was being treated. He also thought it was unfair that I didn't have to live with that heavy burden and thought Mom always babied me. So when I wouldn't give up the room, he thought it was Mom playing favorites. He almost broke down crying, saying how sorry he was and that he'll leave. I told him that wasn't necessary and that as long as him and his wife help out, he's welcome to stay as long as he wants. I asked, was he ever going to tell Dad? He said he wasn't, but would hold no resentment towards me if I did tell. So now I'm conflicted with that. But other than that, everything seems normal. Update 3. I told my dad. He surprisingly took it well. I did it in private. He admitted that his brother told him that one time when he was drunk, but he thought he was trying to upset him. I know everybody was saying that my mom was a narcissist, but she never displayed these behaviors. She was a woman loved by everyone. He never suspected a thing. He was hurt, though. He explained that he's been married for 30 years and would like for things to stay the same. I always thought Dad was kind of a pushover, so I highly doubt that he's going to confront her. I think he's comfortable with life the way it is. But my brother and sister-in-law have paid me for bills and rent, so we're okay. My mom has apologized, and it seems genuine. She became the outgoing nice woman again, so my house has peace. I think this is going to be how it is for now on. I hope Dad is okay, though. Now, for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Your mom just decided to ask your brother and sister-in-law to move into the home that you pay for and then decided to play games. Well, the 4 of them can just move back since they can't afford this city on their own. That was the stupidest attempt at a power play I've ever seen. It is time for you to enjoy your place on your own. Comment 2. Oh, you're totally not the idiot. Your parents are trying to maintain influence over you, but you're the breadwinner here. They can't control you like they did when you were a child. Throw them out if you have to. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Your family is pretty comfortable due to you. I'm not sure why they're doing this, but you don't owe them anything. No one even asked your opinion, FFs. Now, for the update. It's been a month since I handed those eviction notices out, and the atmosphere in the house has become a crushing silence. The deadline passed last week, and somehow it didn't bring the resolution I'd hoped for. They haven't left, and I find myself in a paralyzing limbo, struggling to enforce the very boundaries I set. The job that once felt like a triumph now feels like a shackle. My performance is slipping. I've received a formal warning, an ominous cloud hinting at a storm I'm not prepared for. The weight of my family's troubles and the demanding nature of my work are conflicting in ways I never anticipated. I'm losing sleep, and with it, the edge that secured my position in this competitive field. Meanwhile, my brother's situation has taken a turn for the worse. The stress of the impending eviction and the strained family dynamics have exacerbated his struggles with substance abuse. Last week, he was hospitalized after an overdose. It's a miracle he survived, but the fear of losing him has been a sobering slap to the reality of our family's fragile state. The baby was born prematurely amidst all this chaos, a tiny beacon of hope in a sea of turmoil. But the joy was short-lived. Complications ensued, and now my niece is fighting for her life in the neonatal intensive care unit. My sister-in-law is a wreck. I can see the guilt eating at her for the demands they made, the part she played in this familial implosion. And my parents? Their marriage is a husk of what it once was. Dad's moved into the guest room. Their interactions are perfunctory, hollowed by betrayal and disappointment. Mom's regret is palpable, but it can't undo what's been done. She's thrown herself into caring for my brother and his newborn, perhaps seeking redemption through them. I'm watching my family disintegrate, feeling both responsible and helplessly detached. I wanted to stand my ground, to demand respect for my contributions, but I never imagined the cost would be this high. I'm contemplating selling the house, removing the catalyst from this toxic equation. But with the market downturn, it's not as simple as I'd hoped. I'm caught in a web of my own making, each strand a choice that seemed right at the time, now entangling me further. This isn't the life I envisioned when we moved to the city, chasing dreams of success and stability. I'm searching for a way out, a path back to some semblance of normalcy, but as each day passes, that path seems more like a fiction from a life that's no longer mine. Now, for the comments. Comment 1, not the idiot. You're not responsible for adult family members' choices. It's tragic about your brother and niece, but enabling toxic behavior helps no one. Your first responsibility is to your own well-being. If the family chaos is affecting your job, it's time to take action. You can support them emotionally, but you're not obligated to house them indefinitely, especially if they're not respecting your boundaries or making efforts to improve their situations. Comment 2. You're the idiot. Family should stick together, especially in tough times. You knew your brother struggled with addiction, and it sounds like your niece and parents needed support. Handing out eviction notices isn't helping anyone. It's just adding stress to an already fragile situation. You could have sought professional help or a family intervention instead of pushing them away. Now you're considering selling the house. That's just running away from problems that need compassion and understanding. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Protecting your mental health and job stability is crucial, and you can't do that in a chaotic environment. The situation with your brother is unfortunate, but you can't cure his addiction. As for your parents, their marriage isn't yours to fix. It's not selfish to want a peaceful life. If selling the house is your ticket to normalcy, it's a fair choice. Tough love is sometimes necessary for everyone to move forward. Now, for the next story. I found myself in a difficult situation, and I'm not sure if I'm in the wrong. I'm 65 years old, and my wife is 63. Our family has been through some complicated issues, and it all stems from our daughter Bella, 35-year-old female, having a 3-year affair with our sons, Tony, 43-year-old male, ex-husband, David, 41-year-old male. This caused immense heartbreak for our son, Tony. Initially, our family supported Bella and David, leaving Tony feeling isolated. I was the one supporting Bella because she got pregnant, but eventually guilt caught up with me, and I reached out to my son to mend our relationship. Now, Tony only talks to me and doesn't have contact with the rest of the family. Tony has moved on, started a family of his own with his partner James, 43-year-old male, and they have a baby boy, 3 months old. My wife found out that Tony reconnected with me, and she's eager to meet her other grandchildren and demands Tony's contact information, but I'm refusing to share it because I want to respect Tony's wishes. My wife, Bella, and the rest of the family are calling me the a hole, because they believe I shouldn't deny my wife the chance to see her grandchildren. Am I in the wrong for respecting Tony's wishes and not sharing his contact information? Now for a few comments before the update. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Any more? Tell the family to get fricked. The poor guy has been betrayed enough without you backtracking on the repairs already made to your own original betrayal. Comment 2. Why would your son allow his children to be subjected to the rest of your awful family? Comment 3. Absolutely not the idiot. You'd be the jerk giving up that information. Now, for the update. I never imagined things could spiral even more out of control, but the past 2 weeks have been like something out of a soap opera. After I last posted, things took an even more dramatic turn. Bella, apparently ridden with guilt, showed up unannounced at my door, tearfully confessing that she's pregnant with David's child. She was a mess, begging for my help because David has now left her for someone else. Turns out he's been seeing another woman on the side, and Bella was clueless. Meanwhile, my wife, who's been pestering me nonstop for Tony's address, took matters into her own hands. She hired a private investigator to track him down, and I only found out when Tony called me, furious, asking if I gave his information away. That phone call broke my heart. He thought I had betrayed him. It took a lot of convincing and a 3-way call with the PI for him to believe I wasn't involved. But wait, it gets worse. The PI gave my wife the address, and without telling me, she went to Tony's house. Tony refused to let her in. They had a heated argument on the doorstep, loud enough for neighbors to hear. And now there's a rift between Tony and James because James thought they should have let her in to avoid making a scene. The stress of it all has caused tension in their relationship, and I'm worried about the strain this might put on their family. Back at home, it's chaos. My wife is staying at a friend's house because I couldn't condone what she did, and I've told her she needs to give Tony and James space. Bella's living with me for now because she has nowhere else to go, and despite everything, I can't turn my back on her, especially now that she's carrying my grandchild. All this drama made me realize I needed legal advice to protect Tony's family's privacy and to figure out what rights, if any, my wife might have to see her grandchildren. I've scheduled a consultation with a family lawyer for next week. To top it off, the family is now gossiping about the possibility that I'm also in the wrong for harboring Bella. They say I'm enabling her, but I don't see how I can turn away my own daughter when she's at her lowest. The only silver lining is that Tony and I are still talking, and he's agreed to go to family therapy with me. He's understandably wary of the rest of the family, but at least we're making some progress. I'm holding on by a thread here, trying to navigate this minefield of shattered relationships and hurt feelings. Every day brings a new challenge, and I'm just hoping that we can find some way to heal as a family, or at least find some peace amidst the storm. Now, for the comments. Comment 1. Not the idiot. Blood is thicker than water, and you're doing the right thing standing by Bella in her time of need. It's a tough situation, but family sticks together. Consulting a family lawyer is a smart move to ensure everyone's rights and responsibilities are clear. Hang in there. Comment 2. You're the idiot for letting Bella stay with you while your marriage is on the rocks. You're prioritizing your daughter's affair over your wife's feelings and your marriage's stability. You need to find a balance between supporting your daughter and repairing your relationship with your wife. Comment 3. Not the idiot. Props to you for not abandoning Bella despite the family gossip. It's easy to judge when you're not in the situation. Plus, the fact that you and Tony are still communicating and seeking therapy shows you're committed to fixing things. Family drama is tough, but it's how you handle it that counts. Keep your chin up. If you liked this video, you'll probably like these too. Also, while you're here, please consider subscribing. It's your support that keeps this channel alive and allows me to make better and longer videos. Have a great day!